Hello and welcome. My name is Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind The Country Chic Cottage. Today I'm going to give you 10 HTV tips and tricks that maybe you've heard before or maybe you haven't, and hopefully you find something within this video that helps you. First is to just cut it on the correct side. So the HTV you purchased probably has a carrier sheet side as well as the vinyl side. The carrier sheet is actually on the front of the HTV, so you're going to cut basically the back. Most of the time that is shiny side down, but you do want to watch this. So my tip for you is to peel back from the corner to see which side is the carrier sheet side and put that carrier sheet side against the mat. Why do we do this? That is because things like puff HTV are actually shiny on the back and matte on the front, and you put that matte side down to the sticky side of your mat. So you always want to put the carrier sheet side down on your mat, stick it down really well with a brayer to get the best cut results. Now, tip number 2, since you are carrier sheet side down on the mat and your material is up, you will need to mirror your design before cutting. That can easily be done in a program like Cricut Design Space. You just hit that mirror button before you cut. But you do need to remember to mirror that design. So it can be a tough thing to remember. Be sure to double check that you have it mirrored every time you're cutting HTV. Then when you go to cut it, you do want to make sure you cut only through the vinyl and not through that carrier sheet. This means choosing the right cut settings. So on your Cricut machine, there are a variety of HTV cut settings, and they will be referred to as iron-on. So everyday iron-on setting, a glitter iron-on setting, there are a variety of settings that you can pick from and choose. Now, various brands of HTV can cut on different settings. So what I recommend is a test cut. So you do a small cut in the corner of your sheet, and that way you don't waste your entire sheet with a cut that doesn't go all the way through or that goes too deep. So be sure to do that test cut on any new material types. And you can note those, right? So I used Caesar, Easy Weed, and these were the cut settings that I used, and make a note of that. And that way the next time you have Caesar, Easy Weed, you don't have to do that test cut. You can just run it through your Cricut machine and know exactly what material settings to use. Then it's time to weed that HTV, and here comes another tip for you. So when you're weeding your HTV, you're going to weed everything around the outside as well as things like the centers of letters. To make weeding HTV a bit easier, you can actually weed it on your heat press. So you're probably heating your heat press up, getting ready to press it, so the surface around your heat press is hot. You can also do this with an Easy Press and Easy Press mat by setting the Easy Press on your Easy Press mat for a few seconds. You can set the Easy Press on the Easy Press mat. It'll warm that Easy Press mat up, and then you could weed your HTV on the Easy Press mat. When that carrier sheet gets just a little bit warm, the HTV peels off of it so much better. So try weeding your HTV while it's warm, and I guarantee you will have a quicker and easier weeding experience. Then when it comes time to press, number 4 is to always preheat your surface. This removes wrinkles, moisture, and can even help pre-shrink your blank so it doesn't shrink as much when you launder it and mess up the HTV product itself. So preheating does a variety of really great things, and you can even fold the shirt in half when you preheat, and that will give you a line down the center and help you to locate your HTV as well. So the preheat step itself is a tip, as well as folding it in half so that you have that center line down your shirt to help you locate the HTV. Then when it's time to press, that next tip is to follow all instructions. Every HTV is going to have different instructions for times, temperatures, pressing instructions, whether it's a cool peel, a hot peel, a warm peel. There are going to be a variety of different instructions, and it's going to vary so much by the type of HTV that you use. For instance, like Cricut HTV, you press it for something like 30 seconds. A product like B-Flex Gimme 5, you press it for 4 seconds. That is a wide range of time there, and the temperatures vary as well. So you do want to make sure that you check the instructions for every brand of HTV that you're using. And it can also vary, say, for puff versus glitter versus regular HTV. And it can also vary. Some puff HTV brands that I've used, like different colors, have different instructions. So definitely check the instructions every time you press your HTV, because this is the common place where mistakes happen. So if you want to get it right the first time, check the instructions. Be sure you're using the right time, temperature, pressure, as well as the right peel temperature when you go to peel that carrier sheet back. And then while you're pressing, you want to press on a firm surface. You might think, I'm pressing something, I should just grab my ironing board and use it. An ironing board is actually not a firm enough surface, so you want a sturdy table. You can use something like the Easy Press mat on top of a sturdy table. You can use your floor with the Easy Press mat on top. A heat press is a firm surface all by itself. Just be sure that whatever you're pressing it on, it's a firm surface. Never use that ironing board. All right, tip number 8. So far we've kind of talked about pressing as pressing one color. However, you can layer HTV. You can layer HTV one on top of one another. My tip for you is to follow all layering rules. There are certain rules when it comes to layering. For instance, glitter should only be the top layer. You should never put glitter on the bottom layer because whatever's on top won't stick to it as well. There are a variety of HTV products that are intended to be used only as the top layer and are not designed to have HTV stuck on top of them. If you don't follow those rules, you are going to find that your products do not last as long. So be sure you're following all those layering rules when you start layering HTV products. And then while we're talking about layering, be sure that you are following all those instructions. Like our tip was to follow all instructions when it comes to HTV products. When you're layering multiple types, you want to be sure that you're following the instructions for every single layer. You might have to alter the time and the temperature as you are creating these different layers in order to get the right time and temperature overall to make each of the layers stick when you are mixing and matching product types within one design. Now, number 9, you want to protect your HTV when you're ironing or when you're layering. You want to protect it from your hot iron or your hot heat press. You can do that with something like a Teflon sheet. So you put your first layer down, peel back that carrier sheet, add your second layer, and if the carrier sheet for the second layer is not large enough to cover that first layer, you can just put a Teflon sheet on top and that will help protect it. That Teflon sheet can also help you protect odd materials if you want to put HTV on leather, HTV on wood, HTV on all these different materials that might melt. Be sure to keep a Teflon sheet on hand when using HTV and it will save you time and time again. My final tip is to know your types. There are a huge wide variety of types of HTV out there. I've mentioned puff, I've mentioned glitter, there are foil HTVs, there are stretch HTVs. Each of those types have different instructions as I've talked about, but they could also go on different types of materials. For instance, if you have a stretchy material, you would want to use an HTV product that stretches along with your material in order to get the best results. Some HTV products can only be used on certain substrates, so it might only be used on cotton or cotton poly blends. Some can be used on just about anything, including like silk. So you want to be sure that you check the recommendations for what it can be applied to and know your HTV types. That will save you tons of headaches down the road when you put the wrong HTV, say a product that doesn't stretch on a very stretchy shirt, and then it just doesn't even move and won't stretch with the shirt fabric. So don't ruin your projects, know your HTV types. So perhaps you have something odd that you want to put HTV on. So you have a material that can't withstand a lot of heat, you have wood, leather, just odd surfaces that you want to put HTV on it in order to decorate it. A low temp, low time HTV is a product that you would want to look for. Now my favorite is B-Flex Gimme 5, but there are others on the market, but look for something that is a low temperature, low time HTV for the best results on something that may burn or you don't know how it will react to the heat. So those are my HTV tips and tricks. Now let's talk about brands. So I do encourage you to stick with a well-known brand of HTV. Certain brands, like if you see something advertised on Amazon, you've never heard of that brand, and it is like 99 cents for 20 sheets, more than likely you are going to fail with that HTV. The product is just not going to be high enough quality to get the results that you're looking for. So 3 of my favorite brands are Cricut, Caesar, and B-Flex. Those 3 brands, for me, really give great results. The Cricut brand, I always have good luck out of it. They have a wide variety of different types, and I can pick it up just about anywhere. The same thing with Caesar. Wide variety of different types. They even have some types that Cricut does not have that I enjoy playing with, and I can get it just about anywhere. Now, when I am looking for that low temperature, low time HTV that I discussed earlier, I turned to B-Flex. So B-Flex has a Gimme 5 product, and it is 285 degrees Fahrenheit for just 4 seconds on a heat press. And that means that I can use it for a very wide variety of materials. It sticks super fast and at that low temperature, so that means I don't have to be scared to put it on wood, leather, materials that might burn. That's what I turn to each and every time if I am super scared of the material itself and it melting under my heat press. 285 degrees Fahrenheit is a fairly low temperature for HTV. So if you want to give the Flex Gimme 5 HTV a try for yourself, I do have a sample pack for sale, and it is the Crafting Camp sample pack, and I have talked about it before here on this YouTube channel, but if you missed it, grab the sample pack, give it a try for yourself. In the sample pack itself, you get 6 12x12 sheets of the HTV to try, as well as 9 free SVG files that have a commercial license, and they all have a crafty theme. And myself and Corey George from Hey Let's Make Stuff picked out the colors in the sample pack, and we picked out bright, fun colors that we thought everyone would enjoy experimenting with. So you can grab the sample pack at the link in the description below this video, or I also have a link where you can buy this in rolls. So if you have tried the B-Flex Gimme 5 and you're like, I want more of it, I need more of this low temp, low time HTV in my life, Angie, then you can head below and get it in rolls as well in a huge, wide variety of colors. So pick this up, give it a try. I really think you're gonna love it. And I hope you love my tips and tricks as well. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you have any questions about anything I've covered, drop it down in the comment section, ask away. And if you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.